It's important to me that every dual gauge map be different. Not just different places and different geographies, but a different experience, usually built around a couple of strong gimmicks. So one of my goals with this first expansion was to provide two maps with wildly different points of emphasis. The Honshu map is very tight. There are only 5 cities on the map, at least at first, but we'll get to that. Honshu's big gimmick is industrialization. Each player starts with 2 of these discs. During a company's turn, the president can spend $50 of their own personal cash to plonk down a marker, converting a town with a $2 payout to a city that pays 5. So why would you spend $50 of your own cash to increase a company's run by a measly 3? Well, at the end of the game, you lose $100 for every marker you have left. So if you can, you definitely want to get both of them onto the map. Where you put them also matters because, like all cities, it can be tokened. And given the small size of the map, tokening can be pretty devastating. Let's talk about the Yellow Ray Road for a second. It starts in Noto at the end of a peninsula. Now, trains generally don't like running underwater, so you can't build across this blue hex side. Yellow's first build was always going to be southwest, because it's that dit that gives them access to start building out to the rest of the map. But that dit is also an obvious choke point. If another company upgrades the town and then tokens it, Yellow can't build. If it can't build, it can't pay out, tanking its stock value. Further, Yellow won't have access to any dits that its president can upgrade, potentially leaving it with both of its markers and the $200 penalty that comes with it. Unless Yellow manages to get another station out on the board first. Then it doesn't matter if someone tokens that dit, because Yellow can carry out operations from its new station. And probably if that happens, no one's going to bother to token that particular dit anyway. A good location for Yellow is going to be Kyoto, because that will cut off access to Shikoku for Orange and Red. Of course, maybe Orange or Red wants to token there instead, or maybe they want to cut Yellow off at the knees, do it to someone else before they do it to you. One question that comes up in plays of the other maps is someone going to buy a 5T and rust to 3s? On Wisconsin, the answer is always yes. First of all, there are 9 5s in the mix. Rusted 2s get repurposed. So there's plenty to go around, and secondly, these 5s are diesels. They can hit as many stops as they can, so long as they only run on a single stretch of compatible track. The game's big revenue centers are clustered here, and a good endgame route is going to want to hit as many of these as possible, while terminating in one of the off-map hexes all the way on the other end of the state. This will double the value of that run. You're further encouraged to chase after these big runs by the big route bonus markers. The president earns these markers when their company's run hits the current threshold on the track, and at the end of the game they're worth a share in the lowest valued company. Throughout the game, companies are building track and buying trains to optimize their runs moment to moment. But a track that makes for a good run early in the game might stop a diesel before it really gets started. And that's not even talking about the capacity for spite track or a blocking station. What you and your rivals do throughout the game lays the groundwork for success or failure in the final ORs. Given the rewards waiting for you when the diesels come out, and the fact that high-powering companies can buy 2 trains in the first round, the train rush can be pretty aggressive. And if a company finds itself without a train, it can get stuck in the yellow zone of the stock market, unable to ever buy a train. Those bonus markers aren't going to be worth much. So that's a quick look at the 2 maps in our first expansion. I didn't touch on everything, like the Tokyo upgrade, like Superior bonus, and some pretty wild company powers. But I'll leave all that for you to discover for yourselves when we release it. This is going to include the nifty company charter cards from the new printing in the base game. And this will be coming out later this month.